All right, we're back with another story. Um, so since it's October, I figured dish out a quick story about something spooky. Halloween's around the corner. Um, and I figured I'd give one of my ghost experiences. Now, a lot of people don't really like believe in ghosts. Some people do. It's up for speculation. But me, I believe. I think I think they're real. You know, it's it's a pretty odd story. So I was a kid and I was watching something on TV. I remember watching something on TV in the living room. And my older brother was pretty much, he was in his room playing the game. And, I'm watching stuff and everything, and I could swear that I hear, like, what sounds to be like footsteps. It's just heavy thudding, just boom, 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 right? But they sound a little distant. So I'm like, huh, odd. Nobody else is in the house but us two. And I looked towards my brother, like, in his room, because I could see, like, his door was open. I could see him, like, from the living room. Now, I called out to him. I'm like, hey, do you hear something? And he's just like, no, I don't hear anything. I'm like, I hear footsteps and stuff. And he's like, no, like, that's me shaking my leg and stuff, right? So he's shaking his leg, apparently, and that's what's making all the noise to him. I just ignore it. I go back to doing what I'm doing. And I'm just like, all right, well, I guess it's, just in my head or whatever, right? So then I go back to watching what I was watching. Now, I could swear that I started hearing them again. So I'm just like, I look towards him and I could see that he's not shaking his leg anymore. It could, I guess in his mind he was shaking his leg, and the creaking of the floor was pretty much like, I guess giving footstep noises out. I don't know what he was thinking. But I decided to investigate, I kept hearing it and I kept, like, I was really confused. So I just go over towards, like, where the sound's coming from. So I go over to where the sound's coming from, and I swear I hear it coming from, like, the kitchen, sort of. Now, where I lived, the kitchen had, like, if you go to the very back of the kitchen, you can go straight down the stairs towards the basement. And I don't know if it was just me, but I could really hear stuff coming from the basement. Something, like some type of noise, which was the footsteps. So I stop at the kitchen, and I swear I keep hearing it. It's just a constant dum, 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 like footstep noises. So I'm just like, I'm waiting there by the entrance of the kitchen. I call my brother. I'm like, can you come here real quick? And he comes out. And he's like, what, dude? And then I'm like, you don't hear that? Like, he like stops and he starts listening, and he hears it too. And he gives me, like, the acknowledgement, like the face. Like, it's just like, that's odd, So we both are kind of like, what is that? Like, that's neither one of us want to go to investigate, but we decide to go together. We're like, screw it, let's try it out. So we get towards the end of the kitchen, and we turn the corner of, like, the kitchen. So say this is, I'm gonna use my character pretty much. So say this is a bad angle. It was more of like like a hook, but whatever. Move, Serrano. So we peek over the corner, and we're hearing the footsteps, and it's pitch black. All that's pitch black. We hear like dun, 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 getting heavier. And we're like, we look at each other. We're like, okay. And then we hear dun, 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 like coming up. Something was running up the stairs. Man, we booked it. We got the hell out of there, and we went straight to his room. We brought the dogs in, because I think one of them was in already, and then we called the other one to come in, and they followed in behind us. And we closed the door, and we're just talking. We're just like, I knew I wasn't tripping. Like, that was definitely like some sort of like thing, you know? So both of us are both like in shock. You know, he for some reason decides to hand me a book. I guess both of us were kind of in a stress situation where like we don't know what to do next. So we call my mom, and my mom pretty much she answers, and she's just like, what? And we're like, Mom, there's definitely a ghost or something in the house. And she's just like, yeah, right, yeah, whatever, you know, like, you're so full of it. And then we're just like, no, seriously, Mom, like, this is odd. Like, we've never seen something like this. Like, we've heard it, we described what happened to her, and she's just like, really? All right, we'll be home soon. You know, still, you know, with doubt in her voice and stuff like that. So then my brother's just like, read that book. So I opened the book up, and it had a lot of interesting facts about, like, you know, ghosts and entities, and describing that they're pretty much wandering souls that didn't pass on into the next realm, I guess, which would be heaven or hell, or, you know, purgatory. I don't know. Or maybe that is purgatory, you know? They really didn't have a lot of answers to my questions. It just raised more questions. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out what to get rid of. But, yeah, it was an interesting book, but it was just like, there's nothing I can do with this. These are arrows. Okay. So, I go to my... What is that? What even is that? So, I'm talking to my brother, and I'm just like, what the hell was that? Like, I mean, I know it's a ghost, but like... Could it be? I mean, it could be a demon too. It could be an alien. It could be a ghoul, goblin. It could be a vampire. You know, it could be multiple things. Something invisible, definitely, but, you know. So, you know, we're kind of freaked out, but I just, like, you know, I just kind of calmed down after a bit and realized that this is just a wandering spirit of sorts. Yeah, so it's just strange, you know. We start talking and everything again, and then suddenly we hear like a knock at his door. You know, our door, the door to his room was closed, but we heard pretty much a knock, and we were like, "That's weird." So, what pretty much happened then was my mom eventually came home. And she was asking me like, all right, what happened? I told her what happened. Me and my brother were both telling her, and then she was kind of like a little skeptical, but I kind of understand. She like, I guess in her mind, like she knew, but she didn't want to freak us out more. So the better alternative was to just gaslight us and pretty much be like, you guys are crazy, you know, like something like that. To that extent. But yeah, she pretty much told us like, oh yeah, you know, it'll be fine, just, you know, like, don't worry about it, it was probably nothing, you know. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, I guess. And then I think the next day or so, she called me over and she was like, hey, can you come here real quick? And I'm like, sure, what's up? She was like, go in the bathroom. And then I go in the bathroom and she has like a bath kind of like ready with like some type of like flowers in it. Not like rose petals or anything, but like some type of flower. And like some other stuff, like I don't know. And she pretty much was just like, yeah, just keep your drawers on, but get in the tub, but like stand. And I'm like, okay. And she starts rubbing this egg on my arms and like on my like shoulders and like my back, my head. And she cracks the egg and opens it. And all this, she's doing all this while reciting a prayer in Spanish. And she cracks the egg over my head. She recites a prayer and tells me like, yeah, you're now blessed. You know, you've been blessed now. So nothing weird or strange will enter your life, and you won't have to worry about anything else.
The whole court was in
So I'm like, all right,
I've seen much in my time.
odd,
That was a gruesome
you know, whatever. And that was pretty much it. Oh, what? Am I supposed to kill it? Bad boy. Down boy. That's pretty much it. Later.